Hiya crafty folks, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and today I'm going to make a new baby card and give you some inspiration to use those small stamps. Now I have this adorable stamp from Trinity Stamps. It's called Loads of Fun. It's got some fun sentiments and cute little baby onesies. I'm going to try and stick with pastel-ish colors. Here's a photo of the finished card. It didn't quite go as planned, so I had to kind of modify it as I went, which is not uncommon. I have cotton candy, lemon sorbet. I'm going to read you these colors as I go through. Mint to Be, which actually has been replaced. It's a Boy, also replaced, and Frosted. So there's some variations in the shop at 𝘄𝐿 that are close to Mint to Be and It's a Boy, but I think they technically have different names now. So I just never changed them. I was fine with what I had when they modified the colors, so just know that if the name doesn't match up, if you're looking for it, that could be why. I'm just kind of swatching these on this little scratch paper just to see that, as you can see, they're not truly pastel, but they're lighter in the lineup than some of the other ones, and I wanted to make sure that they worked for the direction that I was going. Now I'm going to open up this stamp and take it on its maiden voyage. I'm just going to grab the little duck, the little heart, and the onesie and put them on 3 different little blocks. So if you're wondering what to do and you have some stamp sets, maybe with sentiments and little tiny stamps, then maybe think about doing something like this. My mind oftentimes goes to rainbow or some variation of a rainbow, or at least a bunch of colors, and just kind of stamping them willy-nilly in all directions all over the card. So that's all I'm doing here. I'm actually working directly on a card base, but as you saw in the photo, I did end up modifying it and cutting it down because it just didn't look great as it was, and I wanted to make it a little bit more special. So when you're doing this, just make sure you kind of go off the side of the paper. It makes it look continuous and kind of more pleasing from a design standpoint. Turn your stamps around, go all different directions. What I like to do when I'm working with multiple colors is to do 3 at a time. So I'll kind of work maybe kind of in like a triangle shape, or at least 3 generally. In this case, I did 4. 3 of each color to start, and then I'll fill in as needed. You also want to start with your biggest stamp first and move to your smallest, because obviously you need more room for the bigger stamps if you don't want them to overlap, and you can save the small stamps to just kind of fill in open space like I'm doing here. Now these were so tiny and not super detailed, so I didn't do a ton of these. I did the little ducks in yellow, and then the heart in pink, and then I think I added another color with the heart, maybe in the blue or something like that, to add to it. So again, start from big to small and start with maybe 3 at a time, depending on how much space you have and how many colors you're using, and go from there. So those are a couple tips regarding a technique like this. But maybe you have small stamps in your stash and you haven't really known how to use them or what to do with them. So maybe this will give you some inspiration to bust those out and try it. So this was a little bit plain, so I decided I wanted to do some ink blending around the edges. I'm using my blending brushes from the Rabbit Hole Designs because they tend to hang on to ink, and I have some residual and I can go a little bit softer, which is what I was hoping for. I thought the blue that was in the blending brush was a little bit of a closer match than it was. It wasn't great. So initially I was thinking this is what I was going to do, leave it just a single layer card and do the ink blending, but it was a little bit meh, a little bit lackluster. So even though I went to this and I went through other colors and blended all the way around, I decided I didn't like the way the ink was like really pooled on the edges. It just didn't look great. So as you saw, I did end up just kind of cutting this card base into a panel with a die. You'll see in a moment once I'm done blending. I'm kind of leaving it white in the center, but I think I did eventually come in with yellow and kind of tie that in as well. So this is a nesting die, also from Trinity Stamps. It's super cool. I just wanted to make sure I was cutting it down, leaving enough room to do one of the sentiments from the set. But I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine and then just turn that into a die cut panel, which I will then attach to a card base with some color around the edge for a border. So here I realized I had some smudges. I was trying to clean it up a little bit with my sand eraser, but I was strategic in my placement with the sentiment, so it did cover up some of my mistakes as well. So I'm going to line this up where I want it, mindful of the color around the edges and the different onesies, and kind of just a ballpark on where I was going to put the sentiment on a little strip. I'm going to use some mint tape to tack that down, and I will run it through off screen through my Spellbinders Platinum 6. Now I'm using my pokey tool. You can poke these out individually, or you can actually just run it right along it and it'll pop them right out. It's kind of satisfying. This pokey tool is from my friend Judy in Arizona. Sadly, she does not sell them. A lot of you ask because they're so super cute, but no, she's just amazing and she sends them to me, so I appreciate her. Now I'm going to use a scrap paper on the other side of the card base just to stamp the sentiment. I did it a few times because it didn't look great, but it says your laundry is about to get or your laundry is about to be adorable. I thought that was so cute, and it tied in well with the onesies. So here I want to put some color down. I did some ink blending again around that card base, and then I also pounced the white cardstock of the stamp sentiment into the card, or sorry, directly into the ink pad. And I'm going to finish it with some rainbow pearl clear bling, and that's going to finish the card. So thank you so much for watching. I will link everything that is available in the video description box below. I popped it up with some 1mm thick foam tape, so you can see with the 2 layers of 1mm, it's just about the thickness you would get with a regular foam tape that was 2mm thick. And I stamped congrats and the yellow onesie on the inside of the card. And that's going to finish the design. So if you enjoyed this, please do hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. Like I said, I'll link everything below, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.